I need a minute. Hold on. Good morning.
Good morning.
I don't have all the things in where I want to have them yet.
Well, you do your thing, and I'll just sit here because I'm patching servers. So
Good. No. Arrange all windows. Do it. There we go. We got a message on Facebook that says hello from an unknown user. Hello, unknown user. Good morning, Alex.
Good morning.
And good morning, unknown user on Facebook. I have to co-host you. Maria is just joined us too.
Morning, Alex.
Good morning.
Oh, yeah, okay. Brian's there. Morning.
Am I supposed to be slighted?
Well, you look sort of like a bug in that camera angle, you know?
It's me.
And you sort of fade in, you're because we're looking at the,
Hold
the
on.
aerial.
The words sort of.
Words kind of obscure. Ah, there you go. Now,
Yeah.
Now you look like you. There you go.
Yeah.
It's me. It's me. I have all the cards today.
I do.
But you're not holding them.
I have all of them, and then I have all these memes also, and there's just no fucking way we can get through all of it.
Good.
And you know what? That means I'm not even going to try.
Yeah. Are you still working stuff out, or do you want me to start admitting people?
Yeah, go for it.
I don't think anybody's waiting just yet.
Oh, no, there was 3.
And there they are. Good
morning, that's because you haven't co-hosted me. That's why.
I didn't?
Nope.
Oh, my goodness. And, Alex, I have something to tell you that I'm about to do.
Oh, you're going to turn the captions on?
I am. Look how cooperative we are. Hi, Meg.
Hey, Brian.
How you doing, sunshine?
Not bad. Not bad. Whoops, my hair's wild.
I think it looks marvelous.
Yep, looks good.
Thank you.
Okay, we will have none of that making each other feel good in this meeting. Come on. Hell, do you know what that might lead to? Self-esteem. World peace.
No.
Craziness.
Definitely what we don't want.
Alex, I'm putting a thing in the chat. And whether or not we use them, that's one. What happened to the other one? Oh no. I'm not doing that actually, Alex.
What, the disturbing the peace?
Yeah, I had the quote, but somehow I lost the quote. But I'm gonna share my screen.
Okay.
Oh, and I have a new challenge today for me, which is there is a button that I'm supposed to push. Oh, dang it. It's a button I'm supposed to push that will cut, there it is, that will cut a clip of what I just said. So it'll go back 30 seconds and it will keep it as a clip. And I'm supposed to keep those for Instagram. Because, one more thing to do.
You need to install an easy button.
No, I don't. I like making I must enjoy making incredible tasks for me to do. Otherwise, I don't think I would do it.
So what? You're a big fan of making it hard when things could be easy instead?
Yeah, seriously.
Wait. So wait, you're gonna sit there and you're gonna make it seem like I'm the only asshole who does that?
Well, look
Oh,
at
I do it all the
I
time.
got to go through.
Yeah, good job, Jack. Make it complicated. I'm gonna get some water. I'll be right back.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Oh, hi,
God.
Ron. How you doing?
Mm.
Looks gorgeous in that yard.
Oh, it is. It is. It's a yucca back there. And,
Yeah, you know those are edible.
Really? What part?
The flower. I
Oh,
used to date. And there's other things you can do with yucca too. I'm sorry, Ron. I interrupted.
The inside of the stem is edible too, I think.
Yeah,
When I
used-
lived, go ahead. When I lived in Berkeley in 1983, I used to walk up to Telegraph Avenue, and right behind the dryer ice cream, dryers ice cream was a 100-year-old yucca tree.
Oh,
And it
goodness.
blooms only once in 100 years. And it was
Oh, my.
blooming,
Wow.
and it was blooming that year.
oh,
Nice.
gorgeous.
Yeah, it was gorgeous.
Good
Well,
morning.
I was saying, I dated a man who was from El Salvador, and he would take the flower part, not quite thick part of the stem, but just down a little bit, just enough to be able to batter it in batter and then deep fry it.
Mm.
And he would eat it just like that.
Mm.
And it was normal down there.
Yeah, when we did our little trip, 49 days, 4,900 miles through, we were in Death Valley and in Joshua Tree and Mojave. Well, the cactus and yuccas were blooming, and they were spectacular. There's many different kinds of yuccas too, and in fact, the Joshua tree is a type of yucca.
What? I saw my friend Jared was here a second ago. I seem to have lost him. Did we lose him to audio only?
Don't see.
I think we lost him.
I'm gonna give him a call. Okay. See how that goes. How much time do we have? 3 minutes. Plenty. Spacious amount of time. Spacious amount of time.
It's just 3 minutes.
Hello, everybody.
Morning.
Morning.
Oh, good morning.
Marcus is coming. I wonder if he's feeling any better. Marcus, you don't look like you're feeling too good yet.
Hey, Jared. Rabbi here.
Hey, good morning.
I saw your face on the
got
screen
COVID?
for a moment. I just
Yeah.
wanted to call. You don't have to show up to anything
Left
I
work
do. I just
yesterday.
wanted to
It hit
say
me
hi.
so
See
hard
if you needed any help.
yesterday. I woke up feeling just kind of
I'm
and
good.
then by
Okay.
10 o'clock,
I love you. I'm
felt
gonna go
like
run a
I
service.
didn't know what was wrong, so I went straight to the hospital.
Enjoy.
Bye, buddy.
And yep, I have COVID.
Oh, Marcus.
I'm sorry. Well, I hope you start feeling better soon.
Thank you.
My
I mean,
goodness.
Rabbi, you're the one who said you like to follow trends. Apparently, I'm on that same bandwagon.
Don't be so popular, Marcus. What can I do? What can we do to be of help?
Nothing. Just send good energy that life that doesn't get any worse.
Okay.
They put me on that. They put me on that Plavix or the one stuff and steroids. Yeah.
Paxlovid. It's got side effects.
Yeah.
Yeah, they put me on that, and they put me on steroids, and they put me on a muscle relaxer, and ibuprofen and Tylenol. Wait, side effects, Ron.
Well,
It's not the metal taste. You don't want to hear it. It's too gross.
Thank you for tantalizing us with that, Ron. Well, good morning. How are we doing on time? I am time.
It is 7:59.
I am very cognizant of the exact moment of time that it is. It feels at odds with the spiritual religious nature of like there oughtn't be. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Wait, here. I want to share this with you before we start. Oh wait, hold on.
Aw.
Her, I bet he's thinking about other women. Him. Why is Batman one word, Iron Man 2 words, Spider-Man 2 words with a dash? Well, I appreciate the two of you who laughed. Thank you.
Funny. It's true.
It's true. All right. Here, quick. Oh, no. Here we go. We're at 8 o'clock.
Say it again, Rabbi.
Hold on. I got to start my video now. No, I didn't do it. Please hold. There it goes.
We need music.
Was the music not happening? Well, music happening or not, welcome. I'm glad you're here. I'm Rabbi Brian. This is the Saturday service. Today is July 30th, 2022. And I still do have to check what year it is because since COVID, I have no... Anyone still like 2019?
Yeah. Yes.
God, I'm stuck there. It's bizarre. Let me put all my friends who are on the screen or a portion so everyone on Facebook and YouTube who's watching now or later can see and say hi.
Hello.
There, I'll wave. Say hi.
Hello. Hello.
I'm going to take that screen off because I know it's a little distracting. So this is a different way of doing a spiritual religious service. It is very focused in the here and now, and it's not just about what one guy thinks. It's us all having a conversation. I'm going to bring some topics. If you've never been here before, welcome. If after two people have shared, if they do, if you're new, I'm pretty sure you will have a hang of everything that we're doing here. Let me take a moment, look at my friends, look at all your faces, say good morning. I feel I've been teaching Emmett how to drive, which there's not a lot of teaching. It's more you just have to wait until he learns how to drive. Right? I can say things, but it's really the feel of it. And takes a lot of acting ability on behalf of the parent to pretend to be calm. Because he's going to learn best if I'm not clutching the steering wheel and right, he's going to learn best if I seem like a fun teacher to be with, if I'm not anyway, so I don't want to use the word lurch, so I won't. And I don't want to say sudden about how he stops, but you know, there's still 300 feet until a stop sign, and he's still going at 35 into the last part of it. Whereas we all know, like, you start slowing down and you make it as smooth. And that's going to be my spiritual religious thought right now. Is that maybe a lot of life is about being smoother going into new situations and coming out of new situations. And look at that. It's 8:03 and I've already done like a moral of the story. There we go. That life might be about practicing getting smoother. Can I get some kind of response from your faces at least?
Amen.
I got some applause. That's good. Thank you.
You need gear shifts.
We need gear shifts, right? And double clutching is only for the real advanced person.
Right. And go to a big, huge parking lot to do some practicing.
Random thought occurred to me, so this is in my head. Let's say there's a queue of people to have a dinner with Jesus. Just go with this thought experiment for Imagine people are going to line up, or there is a lineup of everyone's going to get their dinner with Jesus. But there's a line. How far are you in that line?
2 miles away.
Oh, no, everyone's going to have there's no exact right answer. But I want you to imagine how far you are in that line. And maybe what would you be the kind of person, what would move you up? I mean, we got to figure you're going to be in that line for a while. It's not going to be an hour until you're off of that line. You're going to be on that line for a bit. That maybe some other people, some other groups of people got moved up. Maybe some got moved down. And upon what criteria is all that happening? Okay, so now we've had a moral. Now we've had a spiritual religious conundrum, something for you to think about. So I think it's only appropriate now that we do a choose your own adventure. I'm going to stop for a moment. Hi, folks. Good morning. This is a community. This has become a community. And it's like that stone soup story. Y'all have become a community not by the sheer weight of the magic rock that I put into the pot. Y'all have become a community because you have all shared yourselves. You've all decided to show up. I think that's just a beautiful thing. And
it starts by showing up.
It starts by showing up. You're here. And not just showing up, but then the next piece is to be willing to be seen. And no offense to the people who are on YouTube, the people who are watching this on Facebook, only slightly right. That's a safer way to be. You're not at the same membership level as the people who zoomed in. What is that? That felt weird, but that's true. Rags, help me out. Your face is saying a lot, but I'm not reading it well.
Oh, it just sounds more dismissive than I think you mean to be of the people who are on YouTube.
No, welcome to those people too. And I'm really everyone's going to participate at their own level. This is great. Fine. I don't want to be dismissive. I'm super glad that you're here and you're watching and that this is meaningful to you is totally cool. Is that am I covering my ass enough?
Yeah, and just that everybody's invited. The thing that I always feel is everybody is invited to be participating at whatever level feels right to them today. It's not that I'm better because this week I'm on camera.
No, I was implying that. I definitely was implying that. Yeah.
Well, I could be wrong.
well, I was saying is that it's a different level of community.
Well, it is. One of the things I was thinking of about your line for dinner with Jesus is that to me, the point is the community that forms in the line. It's less to do with getting in wherever the heck up there. It's about
hold on one second. I gotta go to Chris Ann because she looks like she just had a religious experience. What happened, Chris Ann?
Wow, that was profound and deep, and really isn't that what life is all about, the journey?
You're referring to
the journey together.
Hey guys, we're all
connection.
The 49 of us who have boxes on, we are all at the same point in line with Jesus, for dinner with Jesus, said the rabbi. Okay, good.
I'm not inclined to stand in any line.
Neither am I, so I think that's why we're together.
Say that again, Emily. I didn't hear your words.
I'm not inclined to stand in any line.
Emily, I have a question.
I don't want to have dinner with Jesus, I don't think.
Okay, but Emily, let me ask you a question. If you had the choice of standing in line with me chatting
Oh,
or standing in line without me.
yeah. Oh, if I stand in line with this group, then I'd stand in line just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
If we're being community.
maybe it's like a bread line. We don't even know what's on the other end of it.
Hopefully it's good bread.
Hopefully it's bread. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I made a challah last night. I made 8 of them because I'm a little bit crazy and I hand them out to neighbors. But if you're a baker at all, you'll understand what I did was I did the first rise of the dough, egg bread dough. Then I boil it with baking soda to make a pretzelized crust, and then I baked it in the Dutch oven. And if you're following, it's just amazing. It's just amazing. Okay, I'm glad I shared that. Well, hi, welcome. Glad you guys are here. We're all in line together.
Derek has his hand up.
Oh yeah, thank you, Derek.
Yeah, I wanted to comment on your line waiting to see Jesus.
Yeah.
If you were around, I'd be happy to sit down and chat with you any time of the day. But I wouldn't stand in that line for any reason whatsoever, even if you were there.
Okay, that's fair. And here's a really cool thing about this community.
I don't want to see Jesus.
Yeah, and let me be fair that I fuck up at times, and I realized after I said the dinner with Jesus thing, I remembered that different of us have different associations with different religious languages. And for me, like dinner with Jesus would be like, hey, yeah, we're having dinner. Okay, cool, fun. But there are people for whom the promise of an eternity where they were judged based on what they were doing is a real triggering thing. And I flubbed that one a bit right there. And the idea of having a dinner with Jesus, that there's an afterlife, there's a thing, and that as a religious professional, I ought to be a little more sensitive. So I want to apologize to anyone for whom the idea of if it re-traumatized any old triggers about. Okay, I'm going to be quiet.
Instantly forgiven.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem.
And we will know that I am sincere based on my future actions, not based on my apology. Fair enough. Good. I got a letter in the mail from Damon Rab, who, when I went to visit James in prison, my buddy Brian said, he's a lawyer. He said, would you visit Damon while you're there? And I want to read to you what he wrote. He wrote, he writes, he's got his own style. He writes, I'm doing well. To the mention of health, to date, I have not been stricken with the plague. So that's a plus. Family is well, and by all accounts, the universe appears to be showing me a few things about myself that I identified after reading a publication of yours, dated July 16, 2018, subject Love and Acceptance. And then I'm going to skip ahead. He says, Love and acceptance isn't eternal. It's a spiritual conditioning or aligning oneself with integrity, honesty, fearlessness, and humility. Love is you, and acceptance is of your mental operations or your faculties. Now I realize when my attorney introduced us, he was realizing my need for a spiritual advisor. When you visited me at High Desert State Prison, you aligned your spirit with mine and began your lessons, and I appreciate it. But my mind and spirit was stifled by evil and unhealthy energies I blindly allowed to demonstrate my principles. Please excuse me, but I wasn't ready. I fully understand that, and I hope you don't write me off because of it. Brian, I summon your wisdom lessons if you'll have me. It would be nice to be able to touch base with you, my friend. Stay safe. Truly, Damon Rab. It's this idea that he came, right? He's in the not most fortunate of circumstances, to say the least. And he wrote that love and acceptance isn't external. It's a spiritual conditioning of aligning oneself with integrity, honesty, fearlessness, and humility. Love and acceptance isn't external. It's a spiritual conditioning of aligning oneself with integrity, honesty, fearlessness, and humility. What he was referring to in what I first sent him in the article was from Brene Brown, who talks about people who feel love and acceptance. The difference between people who feel love and acceptance and people who don't are the people who feel love and acceptance believe they are deserving of love and acceptance.
That's what makes it hard.
Yeah. It's a weird one. You have to think. You have to not just think, you have to believe that you are deserving of love and acceptance in order to get love and acceptance. I'll give an analogy. This is one of my favorite little... It's silly, but it's so true. Do you know how you go to bed, sleep? You know how you fall asleep? Is you fall asleep by pretending to be asleep. Isn't that funny? You fall asleep by doing all the things you need to do to fall asleep, and then you can fall asleep. I think that's just hilarious. Oh, and it reminds me of a joke. Why do you go to bed? Because the bed won't come to you.
Oh.
Come for the jokes, stay for the wisdom. People with love and acceptance are people who feel they deserve love and acceptance.
Not don't you give it the other one.
No, oh, I can't.
We have a rogue mic that's on.
I got it.
Thank
Sorry.
you. People with love and acceptance are people who feel they deserve love and acceptance. And then let's bring that, piggyback it onto what Damon was writing about. Can you choose? Can you choose love and acceptance of yourself?
It's hard.
It is hard, isn't it?
Hard, but
show of hands, for how many of you is this not an easy thing? How many of us this is not an easy thing? Now look at the person to the left of you in the next box and tell me, does that person deserve love and acceptance? Keep your hand up if they do. Look at the box below you. Look at that person. That schlub. Does that schlub deserve love and acceptance? Yeah? All right, now look over to the left, because that person's a little worried that they don't deserve love and acceptance. And what are you going to say to that? Look at that person. What are you going to say to that person?
I don't have a person. And it's the end.
Turn this way. I mean, really, you need me to explain that to you? I would have figured, never mind, we're good. Turn this way. Look at that person. Is that person deserving of love and forgiveness? Yes or no?
Yes.
Do I need to drive this point home? Look at your own photo. Look at your picture on the screen. Do it. I want to see all your eyeballs in your own cameras. Does that person deserve love and acceptance? And is the answer hell yeah?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to
Yeah.
do. It's hard to
Yeah.
do. Let's practice it. Okay, good job, folks. Everyone shake it out, because that was a lot. That was like that was too much spiritual stuff.
Ooh.
You have to allow yourself.
I need to hear from at least two people. Whose stolen territory are you sitting on today? I forgot to do a land acknowledgement, and I'm still in the people of the Clackamas Valley land, and I want to hear from at least two people from lands that we haven't heard of before. Where are you currently? Go ahead, Maria.
I'm on Treaty 7 land, Blackfoot Confederacy.
Thank you. And let's hear from someone else. Where else are we that we oughtn't be? Yeah, Hugh.
I am on the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, and the Neutral peoples on a piece of land called the Haldimand Tract, which um, runs 10 kilometers or 6 miles east and west of the Grand River.
Thank you. And if you don't know, like, there's no shame that you don't know whose land you're currently on. But would you take a moment to fix that problem and look it up? So that if someone says whose land, you're just like, I know whose land I'm on. This is native land. And this is who used to live here. So thank you for that. I'm going to turn our attention to Joe in a moment, who's going to be ready with our prayer list. I'm going to make a few announcements so I know I got those out of the way. I lost a chest to Jordan last week. Anyone who had their money on me, I apologize. That I lost. If you would like to do phone banking with Jordan, please send an email to me or to Jordan. He's not on the screen right now. But if you would like to phone bank into North Carolina, and after you read the article that I send out on Monday about the state of North Carolina, you're going to see how important it is to help out. Here's a new thing. If you have your hand up on screen, Zoom will automatically raise your electronic hand for you. It's kind of cool to if you have your hand up, you'll see a little thing starts going. If you are Italian or Jewish at all, that thing gets misfired all the time. It just keeps going on for me. So just keep that in mind. Clubhouse.
There is a setting for that. If you go down to reactions and click the up arrow, there's a little button that says recognize hand gesture.
Yeah, thank you. Okay,
If
I
it's
don't
checked,
need that.
it turns the feature on. If it's not checked, it's off.
Thank you, Alex.
Oh.
Thank you.
Wow.
Clubhouse is going nice. Oh, here's one. I wrote this out. Practice being kind to yourself and practice being vulnerable. That's a quick little announcement. If you need a screenshot, there you go. Practice being kind to yourself and practice being vulnerable. Oh, here's a quote. This is my pile of, I thought I have a whole pile. Here are the ones I want to go through quickly. This one is from Kafka. I don't really know for whom I'm sharing this. The quote just was super big in my mind, and I thought maybe somebody's going to take some wisdom from this. Kafka said, the fact that our life and our task, come on, screen, there we go. The fact that our life and our task are of equal length makes our task seem infinite.
Mm-hmm.
That our task and our life are equal lengths makes our task seem infinite. Okay. Hey, if you find yourself a little depressed right now, that's okay. I thought that was a really important announcement. I'm getting absolutely no feedback from any of your faces whatsoever.
I mean, it sink in.
Yeah. If you find yourself a little depressed these days, yeah.
Hey, depressed people don't answer all at once.
Yeah.
I thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ray. You are welcome. Let me get some more here. If there are any other apologies I need to make on behalf of organized religion, would you send me an email about how we all did a thing and you would like an amends made? I would be glad to try to apologize as best I can for my colleagues who sometimes have missed the ball. Or if I can help you write a letter to my colleague directly who you need to write I need an apology letter from, I'm glad to help with that. I don't know what this card means. Here's a good one. Say no every so often. Here's a quote. Boundaries are the distance at which I can love me and you simultaneously. I'm going to say that again. Boundaries are the distance at which I can love me and I can love you simultaneously. You're allowed to say no to people. Okay? Okay. I'm putting a link in the chat. Or Alex, can you put a link in the chat to the... you want to invite someone to this service, the best way to do so is with the following link. There it is. I found it. There's a Saturday service link. And that being said, tell your friends. Please tell your friends, bring people along if it feels comfortable for you to invite someone. And that's a weird thing for a lot of people to do, especially if there's the word religion even used in like religion outside the box. The word religion's in there and it gets really uncomfy to share. I get that. Tell him it's just a really cool rabbi. It has nothing to do with religion. You should see this rabbi's eyelashes. They flutter. You know, just or just tell him that it's a place that you feel comfortable. That being said, I'm going to ask our friend Joe to bring our thoughts to those in need.
All right, this week we have Rita W, Rita S, Maria, Francis, Greta, Amy, Carol Ox, Michael Ox of blessed memory, Kip, Robin's friend, Joe, April, Peggy B, Chris B, Vashti Ross, Abbas, Marcus, and Jess and family.
Let's take a minute at a time. I'm going to do it right when this gets to 45 seconds. We'll just take a minute of silence. Well, thank you all for that minute. It reminds me that September 30th is a Friday, and it is the Jewish high holiday. It's between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, and on the Friday in between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, the Jewish high holidays, I've been running a service. And I'm going to run it again this year, and you are all invited. Because I'm the guy running it, started thinking about it, and I started thinking, like, here's where my thinking was. George Carlin had this great observation. He said, if you're going to do a rain dance to make it rain, obviously you're going to have to do a practice rain dance before you do the rain dance. And if you do the practice rain dance and it doesn't rain, how do you know you practiced it right? And if you do the practice rain dance and it rains, you don't need the original rain dance at all. So I thought about a high holiday service, and I thought, what kind of artifice are we all agreeing upon that, hey, one time a year, we're all going to put on fancier clothes and we're going to have a service with a little bit more pomp and circumstance and make it more formal than what we usually do. And we're all going to agree that that's going to make it a holier thing. And we're going to do more formal sermons and more. And I thought, well, is that weird? So do I do the service on the 30th? And if I do the service on the 30th and the week before service didn't, I was trying to get to the whole rain dance thing. It all was connecting really well in my head, and it kind of just dripped apart there at the end. But I feel like I got enough of the stuff into the bucket that I'm going to just move on. We all right with that?
Yeah, the heart responds to spontaneity.
The heart responds to spontaneity. Yeah.
And the heart also responds to ritual.
Yeah, we do. We need a bit of pomp and a little pomp and circumstance gives us a centering, right?
And your comment earlier about, we're going to make it, we're going to do it this way and it's going to be holier. No. It's no holier. Yeah. It's just different, and it's touching a different place in our hearts and in our heads, because we need a variety of ways of connecting with the sacred.
Okay, I feel better. I'm glad we had this talk.
And we need rhythm and pattern.
Yeah, we do. And an annual event feels like it adds a pomp to it that we need. I like that. Okay.
I like that.
And it gives us all a chance to widen our knowledge and our understanding.
Yeah. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, guys. Thank you. That's helpful. I want to go back to two things that we talked about last week. We talked about hope, and we talked about surrender. And I have three notes about hope. One, and this got brought up in Deep Dive, and also Deep Dive so for second hour when we do Hangouts, I'm going to be in a group called Rabbi Brian's Social Moment, and it's just going to be like, hey, how are you? We're not going to talk anything deep, and we're going to leave Deep Dive to talk about things that are deep. And in Deep Dive last week, Kip brought this up. It's a great understanding about hope. Ready? Watch this. Remember the story of Pandora's box, right? There's all this evil that's in a box, and Pandora opens the box, and out comes pestilence and war and famine, and she shuts the box, and then the voices inside the box say, hey, let us out, let us out, let us out, let us out. And she opens the box again, and out comes other scoliosis, I don't know, really whatever bad things come out of the box the second time. And she shuts the box up. And then the voices say, please let me out, please let me out, please let me out. And she lets out the last thing out of the box. And the way we all know the story is the last thing that comes out of the box is hope. Mm-hmm. And she says, oh, now life is tolerable. Like I can deal with war and scoliosis and pestilence and violence because I have hope. But the other way of reading the story is, what came out of the box the first time? Bad. What came out of the box the second time? Bad. What came out of the box the third time? Still bad. Actually the worst. Because this understanding of the story is that hope is the worst thing. Because hope gives you a sense that the world is not what it is in front of you, and that hope can really lie to you. This is a really different, interesting way of looking at the story. Thing two about hope I wanted to read to you was a quote from Václav Havel. Hold on a second. Mm-hmm. I put it up on this screen. I know I did. I did. And then I closed that, obviously, to keep it safe. Václav Havel. Hold on. Shared this screen. If you don't like when we change screens, close your eyes. I'm going to change screens here. And that is not what I want to show you. There it is. Václav Havel said this. He said, the kind of hope I often think about, especially in situations that are particularly hopeless, such as prison, I understand above all as a state of mind, not a state of the world. Either we have hope within us or we don't. Hope is not prognostication. It's not predicting the future. It is an orientation of spirit an orientation of the heart. It transcends the world that is immediately experienced and is anchored somewhere beyond its horizons. I feel its deepest roots are transcendental. Just as the roots of human responsibility are, though of course I can't, unlike Christians, for example, say anything about the transcendental. Hope in this deep and powerful sense is not the same as joy that things are going well, or willingness to invest in enterprises that are obviously headed for early success, but rather an ability to work for something because it is good, not just because it stands the chance to succeed. The more uncompromising a situation in which we demonstrate hope, and if you want to think of our friend Damon, right? The more uncompromising a situation in which we demonstrate hope, the deeper that hope is. Hope is not the same as optimism. It is not the conviction of which something will turn out well, but certainty that something makes sense regardless of how it turns out. In short, I think that the deepest and most important form of hope, the only one that can keep us above water and urge us to do good works, and the only true source of breathtaking dimension of human spirit and its effort, is something we get, as it were, from elsewhere. It is also this hope above all that gives us the strength to live and continually try new things, even in conditions that seem as hopeless as ours do here and now. And the last thought I want to share on hope, tying us again to last week, is that Jane talks about this. Jane's a psychotherapist. She talks about people who try on what she calls spiritual escapism. And that some people park themselves in a la-di-da-di, futuristic, hopeful world that does not exist right now. And they put themselves there as a spiritual escape. That kind of hope is not good for us either. That kind of hope is keeping us away from our pain and telling us that things are fine when they're not. Okay, that was a lot about hope. Okay.
There's a request for that chat. I mean, that quote in the chat. I don't know if that's possible.
I can do that. I can do that. There it is. Oops. There it is. Yeah. Sobering, isn't it? Life. Yeah. I have a request. So James and Damon are currently two members of Religion Outside the Box who don't have email, or so they don't get the newsletter from a computer. They get it because somebody sends it to them. If any of you would like to help, would like to have a 40 out of 52 week a year mailing job where you print out the newsletter on Monday and send it to a guy in prison, get in touch with me. I'd love to give you somebody to you don't have to write to them every week. Just send them a newsletter every week and open your heart to a guy who's, I promise, has worse luck than you and I do. That being said, this just came in. This is now available. This is James, and I don't know if you guys all know. So this is what James does: is he has all of his buddies in prison. This is called The Unlikely Success: Stories from Men Who Have Overcome Insurmountable Odds to Achieve Successes on Their Own Terms. He has all. I think I showed this last week. He has all of his buddies write articles, write chapters, and then he prints it, and he does it. He's not making money off of selling books in prison, but he's doing it because he says the look on their faces when they see their name on a book and that their story is recorded, that their story is now real. He said that's what this is all about. So we just sent these to a bunch of people. If you are curious, you can go on Amazon. You too can order The Unlikely Success. And then in related news, my BFF Larry, he just finished a book. It's called Hey God, Do You Have a Minute? And they're short 2-page prayers that my best buddy has collated, and that book is also available. And then while we're talking about books, in 50 minutes, I'm going to be talking with a developmental editor because I sent all my stuff to my literary agent, and she wrote back, and she said, that's a smorgasbord.
Thank you.
And I said, yes, it was a smorgasbord. And she says, you need a developmental editor, who's somebody who helps with the development of the storyline. So I'll be meeting with the developmental editor in a little less than an hour, and I'm totally excited.
Good.
Okay. We ready to talk about surrender?
Yes.
Give up. You have no choice.
Rabbi?
Yes, Kim.
Would you please slow down? Just you're going really, really fast. And it's hard. I'm not sure I even know what I've taken away from the service so far.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about what we've taken away from this service so far. I'm gonna start with surround yourself with good people who are willing to call you out.
Sure, all the time.
Yeah. Let's take a little gander back, shall we? And if we get to talk about surrender, I get so fucking, you all know, I get like I'm a little kid. I'm so excited. I'm like, they want to talk about this stuff. I love this stuff. Come on, I'm gonna do it. Yeah. Okay, let's go back.
There's a lot to go back and talk about, even hope.
Yeah, let's go back and let's talk about hope, and let's start, like Chris Ann, you had a spiritual awakening before. Like, what was that moment? And Rags, there was something you were saying. What was that? What? Give me a 3x5 card back with, you get a 3x5 card. This is imaginary. You got a 3x5 card. You got a marker. What's the thing you're going to write? Like, we all learned something about when I made you all turn and face the other people. We all learned something there. What'd you learn? What are you taking with you?
On my card, I would have, and these are not new thoughts.
No, good.
Just a reminder that life is a journey, and it's about who's on the journey with me and about connection. That's where I am in my life today.
Life is a journey. And it's not just who is with you externally. Can I add that in? It's how am I treating myself on this journey? What else are we taking? What else do we remember was said?
We are all worth love.
Yeah.
And acceptance.
And acceptance, thank you.
We are all worth love and acceptance. No exceptions.
I like where we began.
What was that?
We're a community because we are willing to be seen and reveal ourselves to each other.
Yeah. The way that you get love.
Being community.
Say that again, Rag. Say it again. Sorry.
And what's important is being community, being with each other, not just that I'm willing to be seen, but I want to be with everyone.
And we reveal ourselves. We're open about who we are.
Being willing and desiring to connect. I love that.
You write this one down. When I detach myself from everything, I find myself involved with everything.
When I detach myself from everything, I find myself involved with everything.
We didn't talk about this at all, but one of the first images that you gifted us with today, Brian, was the idea of moving. I don't know if you used the word fluidly, but that was the impression that I had. Moving gently, fluidly, and I like that image, and I hope someday we might be able to spend some more time with that idea and what that means, not just physically, but what that means mentally and spiritually. I just thought it was a cool image. Thank you for that.
What I was trying for was that there is a smoothness that comes with experience. And that was what Emmett doesn't have driving, of course.
Yeah, right.
But we don't all have, like, hey, I think I might have been running up towards that stop sign until Kip said, hey, buddy, you might want to hit a brake.
I think we could spend a whole session talking about that idea. Like, I'm not suggesting we do that, but there's a lot of meat in that particular metaphor.
Yeah, I told you guys he crashed the car.
Again?
No, it was just the first.
No,
it was just the one time. But smooth. It was very smooth. Yeah. What else?
Brian, I got stuck way back at where are you in line, and whether you're in line to see Jesus or not. Whatever you're in line for, that's important to you. And the fact that I might step out of line for a while and get back in. I mean, there's a whole sermon in that line thing. I got stuck right there thinking about that. Yeah. And why I was in that position, or what would make me not care what position I'm in, and
And I was really curious with the line metaphor about why is it a line? And you made the comment about what moves you forward and puts you back in line. And I don't even understand what you're getting at with that.
I got stuck at
Robin, perfectly acceptable. I don't fucking know.
Fair enough.
That's why we moved on.
Hold on, we had Marcus, and then there was somebody else who was going.
Yeah, I got stuck on, well, why would I want to talk to Jesus? Oh yeah, hold him accountable and ask a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And kind of got stuck in my head on that whole conversation when my turn came up, but then I got confused.
Yeah, and I made a faux pas, which I apologize for, which was in my being quick about religious language, forgetting that it triggers people. Where else did go ahead, Chris Ann? You just did a thing. No, you just did this with like.
I just was saying thank you.
Oh, it was a thank you. I thought it was like, oh my God, I gotta say something. Okay, good.
Ray has his hand up.
Go, Ray.
Well, in sort of thinking about Jesus and all these people, I'm going to ask him this. Jesus was just a teacher.
Yeah.
And he taught people things. And what other people have taken what he said and twisted it to their own use is not uncommon to a great deal of what they do with people say now.
Yeah. Thank you, Ray.
Good or bad, that's,
Yeah, go ahead, Kip.
Well, I'd like to understand what you were shooting for with that lesson. So if we take Jesus and all that out of it, let's say you want to see the best teacher in the world, whatever teacher you're idolizing or you're aspired to.
Yeah,
what were you trying to say?
Well, I'll be honest. I didn't know exactly how it was going to end, but I can tell you where I was going towards. It was I thought, obviously, I'm going to be putting the saints and those who are not worthy before me in line to have dinner with Jesus. Like, I would not put myself ahead of so many people. And
gotcha. It was a self-judgment thing.
Yeah, I was, and then the other part of the self-judgment was going meta on where did you put yourself? And like, did you put yourself in the first third? Did you put yourself at the very last? Like, what does that mean? But I think it was too radioactive of a topic.
The ranking feels toxic.
Yeah. And then the religious judgment part that I completely I was blind to. I was blind to bring that in about being a judgmental religious person who says only the best. Like, I didn't even realize I was touching that toxic water. So, yeah, it didn't go great, but hey, that's fine. Carol.
It seems to me that it says in the New Testament, the last shall be first.
Yeah.
So you sort of don't worry about where you are on the line.
I like how Emily said it. If I'm with good people in line, I'm fine. And someone else
it's
said
about
similar.
being with the other people.
It was an analogy.
Yeah.
If I was the adventurous sort, I would step off the line, ask them to hold my place.
Right.
I'll be back, and run up to the front of the line and say, and appeal to everybody there. Do you mind if I step in?
Well, I think that would be a little bit of hubris. That would be an interesting game to play. Bob, you have your hand up.
Yeah, if you're putting yourself in fifth place, who are you putting in the other places?
Yeah, that's where I was trying to get towards, but as I said, it was a reactive topic.
Yeah. Good God, everybody's in a circle.
So, folks, I'm just gonna I'll say it this way, by way of excuse. There's no prayer book here. Like, I'm making this shit up, and and I thank you for being willing to forgive the ones that completely miss. I don't like having everyone turn towards the other person. Are they deserving of love and acceptance? That one worked. Let's focus on that one, shall we? Okay, let's keep that one in mind. Good.
Never have love till you start giving it away.
That's true. So I do want to, may I venture for a moment in towards surrender? Are we feeling like that, or where are we at? Yes.
And the torpedoes in full speed ahead.
So let me tell some stories about surrender, because a big topic, and we use the word surrender as giving up in a defeatist way. And in a spiritual, religious world, surrender is when it's like when an addict gets to their bottom and gives their life over to God as they understand God. That's a different type of surrender. And I wanted to start with this image, and I'm going to put this group of people right here. These are my evangelical friends for whom anything happens to them and they are okay with it because they know that's Jesus's plan in their life. You know who I'm talking about here?
Yes.
The people who have divine faith, at least outwardly. I don't know that they do, but they seem to. And everything's okay because Jesus has the wheel. Everyone got me here? Is? Okay.
You got it.
There's something, I can't figure out what the smell flavor difference is between these people and somebody who's just bottomed out, who's given their life over to God. But there's something that feels different about these two different surrenders. And let me tell some stories and let me see if we can figure this out. My friend Eric, he and Pam, to ruin the story, they get married. But this is before they get married. This is before they're even engaged, and they moved in together. And Eric is falling, and he's a rational. He's a guy. He's my math buddy. Very linear. the idea of falling in love is uncomfortable, really uncomfortable for him. And I said to him, Eric, here's the analogy, because this is what it is. You're driving, another driving analogy. I say you're driving along. You're going down a hill. It's got some curves on it. And you hit the brake, and the brake doesn't work. And you hit the brake again, and the brake doesn't work. And you pull the emergency brake, and it comes off in your hand, and you're holding it. I say at that point, enjoy the ride. He was going to get engaged to Pam no matter what. Like, I saw that, he saw that, we knew that. That was just the next step in life. And it was this moment, what I was asking him to do, what the universe was asking him to do, I was just spokesperson, was surrender. Like, stop fighting it. This is the thing you're supposed to do. Just do it, and it will be much easier. So that's a story about surrender. Another story about surrender. If you have parented, you know this moment because your kid was somewhere between 6 and 10 and they wised back at you and they didn't do and they made a mess and it was bad and you couldn't take it and you wanted to kill them, but you knew there are laws and you wind up literally on your knees crying out to the universe saying, I can't fucking do this anymore. And you had that moment on your knees when you given up. And at that moment of actually giving up, you felt surrender. And you got graced. It's the best word for it. You got graced with a little bit ability past. You have given up your own ability and now you have surrendered. And now you can go on. You know what I'm talking about, that feeling? That's a surrender when you've completely given up and you find peace. That's this surrender. That's what I'm talking about. That's a religious surrender. That was our quote last week.
Carol has her hand up.
Go ahead, Carol.
You're muted.
You're still muted.
The surrender you're talking about is always negative. It's that the car's going to crash or not, but I don't have control. Or I can't handle this kid anymore. I think we can surrender out of love.
Do it,
Tony. Out of trust.
Amen. Do it.
And I think that we need to talk about that we've had enough experience of God in our life that we say, this is very, very hard what I'm going through, but I trust you.
And that is exactly it. That's this quote.
Yeah.
If I can find it. That was this quote. There it is. For years I would say, there it is. For years I would say, do this, give me that. When I reached the shores of wisdom, I said, God, be mine and do what you want. It's not giving up. I like the way you put it, Carol. It's a radical acceptance. Go. It's letting go of our own ego. I guess the only question is, am I willing to do that? Well, I think we have homework for next week. Go, Hugh.
I'm just thinking about what this letting. I like the idea of letting go of one's ego. Sometimes we associate surrender with letting go of our agency, and that makes me very uncomfortable because we always have some agency. So how can we let go of our ego without letting go of our agency? And can that help us understand surrender in a new way?
Definitely.
Let's do a session on
You
that.
have the choice to listen and follow what you're given from God or from the universe or whatever. If you go into surrender and you listen, you still have agency, but you can still grab that wheel, right, in the
car,
the car going down the hill.
Yeah.
But you can also accept what's coming towards you, and it doesn't you have the choice to listen or not listen, is where the agency comes in.
And that's the surrender. Let's practice. Everyone, homework. We're all going to get a week to practice, to learn, to think about this stuff. Let's come back next week and see where we are. I'm going to hand the keys to the car over to Alex, who's going to move us into small groups. Let me just do one more where we wave to everybody. Come on, everybody. Wave to everyone. There we go. And